heard that, right, Gene? The bell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Boulder Rotary. That reminds me of a golf club. The last time I swung a golf club, the club went further than the ball, so you guys in the front tables, just be careful over the next couple of months. I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Danny Lindow for the pledge and the four-way test.
Good morning. If you would please join me in the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, and do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. Everybody, welcome to Boulder Rotary, the best place to be on a Friday afternoon, whether you're here in the room or on Zoom. This is the first real attempt that we're having for a multi-access meeting, complete with our typical program of speakers and whatnot. So this is the maiden voyage. We're going to try to avoid some icebergs on this one. So just please bear with us. There could be some technical glitches either here or at home. We're going to do our best, and we're going to get the ship sailing here. I'd like to turn it over to Deidre Farrell for the guests and visitor introductions for the in-room folks here.
All right, guests and visitors and your Rotarian host, if you could all stand, please. Who do we have? All right. Would you like to go ahead and introduce
Sure.
yourself?
Oh, thank you. My name is Ed Smith. Thank you for allowing me to be here. The purpose of my visit is I'm a board member for the Boulder Chamber Orchestra. The orchestra has been here since 2004. As we were discussing, there's many classical music venues in the area. Our chamber orchestra has typically around 24 musicians. We have a very well-defined concert schedule for this year. We've already had one mini chamber concert. The purpose of my visit here today is to say that we have half a dozen board members in our organization, and we're looking for another half a dozen to join us. I just interviewed a CPA and a treasurer in the last 3 or 4 business days, and we're looking for another half a dozen members, people with seasoned business skills, marketing skills, community outreach skills, etc. If you're interested, either approach me after the meeting, or you could go to the website, and there's an info@boulderchamberorchestra.org that you can send us a message. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hi everyone, I'm Jonathan Lev. I'm the Executive Director here at the Boulder JCC, and I'll be speaking, so I'm not going to take a lot of time, but it's so great to see you all here in person, and I'm really thrilled to be able to talk with you today a little bit about what's happened during COVID for us, and learn more from you about what you're interested in.
All right, thank you. Oh, go ahead. You want to use this one?
Hello, my name is John Mazielak. I was the former chair of the Rotaract Club for CU, and filling in for Andy Meyer. But I'd like to introduce Josh Flores. Josh is one of our leaders on our leadership team for the Rotaract Club, and I'd like him to say a few words. Please give him a warm welcome.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the great introduction. I'm Josh Flores. As he mentioned, I am one of our officers at CU Boulder's Rotaract Club. I'm a political science major going into my junior year, and I'm really excited to be here, and thank you all for having me, and I'm glad that we're finally able to kind of actually rekindle that relationship and dynamic again. So thank you very much.
And I am here to introduce Richard Jobson, who is coming to check out Rotary clubs. He has a family background in Rotary, and he also was a Rotaract in the Rotaract Club back in England a few weeks, months, years ago. And so that's the good part, but then the sad part is he's a friend of Dick Golden, so I don't know much more to say about that, but do you want to say hello to everybody?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, thanks for your welcome. Actually, we've lived in Boulder for about 10 years. I came along 10 years ago and wanted to join, but decided to join the Boulder concert band. So I'm also a musician like Ed over there, and that took all of my free time. But so anyway, suspended that for a bit and looking forward to joining Rotary, if you'll have me. Thank you for your welcome.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, I'm Fred McLaren. I'd like to introduce my lovely wife, Avery Russell. We're approaching 33 years now, and she's just making sure I get here safe and sound and back. And Avery?
Well, after 15 wonderful years out here, we are moving in the next month and a half to Chapel Hill, North Carolina, which is my hometown. And we bought a house kind of semi-unknowingly that's in the nexus of my ancestors. My grandmother was born around the corner. My great-great-uncle's law office was on the corner. Catty-cornered from our house is the Pi Phi sorority club, and my mother and sister were members. I refused because I didn't want to join any club that discriminated against Jews and blacks at that time when I went to the university. And then across the street is a house that my great-grandfather built that's now the president's house of the university. And so we're kind of crowded with ghosts. We're going to see what that's going to be like in the next few years.
Welcome, everyone, and please come back again. Do we have any on Zoom, any guests or visitors?
Alrighty. Hi there, this is Vanessa coming live from the JCC. Can I introduce Chuck Bartolini? You're online again with us?
Yeah, this is Chuck Haldane in Seminole, Florida. Just wanting to check on that young new president. I know he's got some big shoes to fill, so far so good.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you could meet us again, and I'm glad that you're with us. So let's see, do we have Dominica? Are you there, Dominica?
Yes, I am. I'm past President Dominica of the Rotary Club of Montego Bay, Jamaica. Good to be with you again.
Lovely. We're so glad you can be with us once again. Let's hope it's a great program. Bye.
I'd like to make a couple of announcements here. The first is kind of the state of affairs with our club and our club meeting situation. We just approved the contract for the JCC for the remainder of this year. We're working on the same contract with Spice and should have that done very soon. Everything should be signed, sealed, and delivered. And the due structure, I know that the $33 price tag is something that people are not really used to, and I think that is more circumstantial than anything. What we're looking at is going to be a number that is probably going to be a little bit higher than what we were paying before, but certainly a lot closer to where we were prior to COVID than where we are today. So just let everybody know that the board is working really hard on that, and there's going to be news to come. I know there's been a lot of uncertainty and a lot of questions, so hopefully we'll have those answered for you guys over the next week or so. Also, August the 13th is going to be, next Friday is going to be the Museum of Boulder Day. Lori Preston will be our speaker. She took over for Nancy Geyer and has continued the great legacy of the museum there, and they've got a lot of new projects going on, including some potential work with a Boulder Strong Memorial. So she's going to update us on that. And then at 5:30, there was a link in the rib to sign up for the happy hour, which is going to be on the roof from 5:30 to 7:30 at the museum. There's going to be music, there's going to be food, there's going to be libations. There will be a scavenger hunt through the museum. There will be the potential for touring, getting private tours of the exhibits. And from what I understand, there's also going to be an option for reduced membership levels if anybody wants to become a member of the museum that night. So that is next week on the 13th, next Friday. Also, along those lines, this is not just for Rotarians. There are going to be many people in the community invited. Lori has invited the entire board of the museum. Their community leaders are going to be there. So please invite friends and family to this as well. It's not just for us. The next announcement is Wine to Water. Anne-Marie Reeder still needs table captains for Italy and either Spain or South Africa. I know we have some wine people in this room who like those places, so if you have any interest in helping her out, please contact Anne-Marie. In addition to 2 drivers, that we need 2 shuttle drivers that can shuttle people from the parking lot up to her place in the mountains where there isn't the same amount of parking as there is down in town. The last announcement is meeting management here. This amazing team is helping us to chart new waters with the multi-access meetings, and we'd like to get them some support. Right now, Fred has mentioned to me today that it's very difficult for him to even take a meeting off, so we don't want that to be the case. We want Fred to be able to take vacations, well-deserved vacations. So if we have any interest in the club, in Rotaract, if you guys in Rotaract have any interest in learning AV technology and sort of how to produce a meeting, these are your guys right here. So ask around and maybe consider that as well. That's all the announcements I have. We'll have more with the brew in a little bit. I think we have Nancy Chin Wagner queued up in Las Vegas.
Hi, Chad and everybody at the Boulder Rotary. I had to find my unmute button. Okay. Thank you so much, Jonathan. That was a wonderful presentation. Today, for our membership moment, I have Brad Weasley. Brad, are you there?
I am here, Nancy. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, let's get on with it. Brad Weasley, our treasurer for the Boulder Rotary Club. He's been a member since May of 2011, 10 years. His sponsor was Richard Bedell, and his wife is the lovely Cindy. So Brad Weasley was born and raised in Boulder, Boulder native. He graduated from Fairview High School and attended CU. And while a CU student, Brad started working in Boulder County 911 Dispatch Center, typically on the night shift, where he got paid to study at 5 in the morning when nothing was really happening. Brad has a bachelor's degree in business administration and a master's degree in criminal justice. Brad went to work at the Lafayette Police Department in 1980, where he held every position and rank, starting as a patrol officer and retiring in 2001 as a police chief. Brad's retirement lasted 2 weeks as he started working at CU Boulder Police Department as the commander of all the back-end divisions, including dispatch, records, property and evidence, fleet management, and technical services at CU. Brad retired from public safety after a 35-year career in 2012. Starting in 1991 and continued to today, Brad has operated a small consulting practice where he works with police, fire, and the EMS departments across the country on using and analyzing the vast stores of data in their many computer bases. Brad has been trained also as a golf rules official and tournament administrator and works golf tournaments across Colorado and around the United States, including many NCAA events and national championships. Brad is married to Cindy. They have 2 children. And in May of this year, Brad became a grandpa. Yay! And it was a little girl. Brad and Cindy love to play golf and travel, often accomplishing both at the same time. So this was an eye-opening for me because I know Brad when I joined the Boulder Rotary, and he's such a quiet demeanor, doesn't he? So something different. Are you ready for the questions?
I am.
All right, number 1. As a child, when you were growing up in Boulder, what actually did you want to be?
You know, Nancy, I'm old
Grow
enough.
up to be.
I'm old enough that I don't remember any specific desires growing up. I just knew that I wanted to do something fun and interesting when I was grown up, and not do the same thing every day, day after day.
There you go. That's and what you did was something that was very interesting and adventurous.
It was new challenges every day, new people to help, new problems to solve.
There you go. Very good. And you are a contributor and helping and being part of the community. So in your opinion, and because of your background at CU, how do you find the current circumstances for the young people, and what would you say to them now?
Boy, I think young folks today have immense opportunities and probably more challenges than when we were growing up. The world is a much more complex place now. I remember going out and playing with friends and running around neighborhoods and not worrying about, any real problems and stuff. And when I got a job, we didn't have cell phones and internet and email and all that stuff. You went to work and did your job. Now there are so many more opportunities. I think a lot of things are available for young people today, but they come with a lot more challenges as well.
I agree with you, and but I think it's a good, like you said, great opportunities for the young people. Now they just got to be able to grab it. My last question is what I usually ask our Rotary members is, why do you feel being a Boulder Rotary member is important, and how has it impacted your life?
Well, I think it's important to be part of the community and to give back. I've gotten so much out of the community, and it's made my life better. Turning around and trying to give back and help somebody else get to a better place is always important. Making your community better. I'm a big believer in the find it or leave it better than you found it philosophy. And so, I've been a volunteer in a lot of different ways for 40 some years now, and always find some way to give back and make the place better than when you found it.
That's kind of like the hiker's motto. Whatever you take in, you got to take it out.
And a little more maybe.
And a little bit more maybe. Well, I want to thank you, Brad, for being my membership moment for this year, this time. And I will hope everyone will actually, when you go in person, they will come up to you and talk to you about your beginnings in the police force. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thanks, Nancy. Thanks, Brad. Brad, when you're back here in person, I look forward to resuming our beer exchange whenever we're back here in person. Dr. George Russell, do we have any birthdays?
Is that on? Okay, good. I thought I'd do a little cautionary tale for you, since it's the first time this is a song that is not pertinent to anybody in this room. I went to a barn dance Saturday night, met 2 girls with eyes so blue. So I fell in love with Kate that night, fell in love with Edith too. We all were just so happy. My dreams had all come true. Then Kate found out about Edith. now I'm feeling blue. So Kate and Edith left me, proves that old adage true. Because you see, to my chagrin, you can't have your Kate and Edith too. 'Cause you see, to my chagrin, you can't have your Kate and Edith too. We have two birthday people today. Al, you want to stand up and say some words?
As most of you know, I don't need a microphone, but I was thinking about 2 years ago, this coming Monday will be my 89th birthday, but 2 years ago, we were doing estate planning, and we had a neighbor ask, "Oh, that's very interesting. I'm doing the same. Do you have a favorite crematorium?" And I've still scratched my head over that question. Anyway, it's been an interesting year, and this time of year has also been interesting to me anyway, because yesterday I was in command of the nuclear attack submarine Queenfish, and we had just surfaced at the North Pole 51 years ago yesterday. And then today, we headed south to survey for the first time in history the entire Siberian continental shelf. Totally unexplored, thick ice, very shallow water, a hairy trip. This has been a very interesting year for me because it started off in January when I was told I was at little or no risk ever for a heart attack. Well, on October 29th, I had the heart attack. I couldn't believe it. I was lucky enough to get a young doctor who put a stent in, and I felt like $1 million, about 10 or 20 years younger almost immediately, and I've been hitting it hard since. And a few eye operations, and then things started to go in the plus direction. Both my wife, Avery, and I, our books came out the same week. And my book, Emergency Deep, Cold War Missions of a Submarine Commander, my third book, and I'll be speaking on that book at the Boulder Bookstore on the 1st of September. Avery's book was Finding the Bones. And of course, it's a reconstruction of her father's life as a labor union radical reporter at the turn of the century. And both our books are on Amazon, of course, and Barnes and Noble. But we've really been able, in approaching 33 years here, to work as a team. The last thing I want to mention is the fact that I was born at Lake Arrowhead, California, 89 years ago. I'm a 9th generation Californian. And although about 60% of me is Celt, my ancestors were the first Spanish explorers of California. But on top of that, I'm about 18% Yaqui Indian, which were worse than Apaches, and we hated the Spanish and the Mexicans. One last thing I'll mention, I came into this club in '85. Tito Roberts sponsored me. I was your program for 2 years, first year under Bruce Ekstrand as president. Then we left it, came back again in 2007, and my good friend Pete Steinhauer, who I think is well known here, re-sponsored me for the club. It's going to be sad to leave you after almost 24 years in this area, but we're young people in older people's bodies, and this is just a new adventure.
Happy birthday. Our next birthday guy is T.K. Smith.
Well, I also had a birthday earlier this week, and I hadn't planned on saying anything, but when you sit next to the commander and you think about travel, I'm reminded of Ralph Waldo Emerson's piece, "Life is a journey, not a destination." And I am so grateful for the people in this club who helped make my journey very delightful, very much enriched, and I'm just pleased to know all of you. So thank you. And by the way, I've sent my check to Michael.
Thank you, thank you. Be sure and sit at the birthday table on around your birthday if you want to say something. Talk to you later. Bye.
Happy birthday, fellow Leos. Fred, can we roll the videotape?
Look at this good-looking couple. We couldn't remember if we'd already highlighted their 50th anniversary, which was last September. But you know what? When you've been married for 50 years, it's an all-year celebration.
Happy anniversary, John and Lena. The Caring Committee is meeting August 16th at 4 p.m. You can find a link to the Zoom meeting in the rib.
So it's the heart of BRC's community.
The Caring Committee supports BRC members, celebrates victories and accomplishments.
And, what's that word there? And reaches out with small acts of kindness. Sorry, that was my line. I screwed it up. Caring Committee, it's awesome. Go to the link and go to the meeting.
Next week's program is Lori Preston, the Executive Director of Boulder Museum.
And at 5:30 next Friday, we have the BRC Happy Hour. It's going to be on the museum's beautiful outdoor deck. You get to tour the museum's fascinating exhibits, and you're going to have music and fun with fellow Rotarians. So 5:30 to 7:30 next Friday, Happy Hour. Be there.
Don't miss it.
Let's all say it together now.
Have a great weekend.
I'm going to roll the credits here. Thank you, John Sullivan, for being the past president greeter. Kathy Olivier and Eve Kilmer, thank you guys for manning the desk. The meeting team of Fred Hall, Lynn Johnson, and John Lehman, you guys are doing incredible work as always, and thanks for helping us avoid the iceberg today. Thank you, Danny, for the four-way test and the pledge. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, NCW from the web in Las Vegas. Thank you, Dr. George Russell, for birthdays, and thanks to the three amigos of Mike, Cassidy, and Fred. And also thanks to everyone here in the room and everyone in the club for all you guys do to help change lives. Meeting adjourned.